Get free vouchers.
Welcome to News 9 and you are watching On Point with me. In today's edition, we have 3 on points. The first on point is on Sambhal violence. Why and how did the violence take place? Was it pre-planned? The second on point is on how Devendra Fadnavis is all set to become the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. In the third on point, we will discuss the rising tension in Manipur after autopsy reports of the 3 of the 6 Jiribam victims become public. But before that, headlines. Hindu Danda attack in Bangladesh. ISKCON priest Krishna Das detained at Dhaka airport. Situation in West Asia deeply concerning. All should support ceasefire, says Jaishankar at Rome conference. Telangana government rejects Adani Group's rupees 100 crore donation for Young India Skill University amid US bribery indictment. Consider starting physical classes in NCR schools, colleges, says Supreme Court to Air Quality Panel. Supreme Court rejects plea to remove socialism and secularism from Constitution's preamble. Both houses of parliament adjourned till Wednesday amid ruckus over Adani bribery case in Manipur.
कार्रवाई 12 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है.
Opposition MP seek tenure extension for Waqf. JPC says many stakeholders yet to present views. Thousands of Imran Khan supporters defied tear gas and lockdown to head to Islamabad for his release. Russia and Ukraine trade drone strikes as Zelensky calls for allies for unwavering aid.
पूरा का पूरा कराया गया ये दंगा है.
ये फायरिंग नहीं बल्कि मर्डर है.
In the wake of violence in Sambhal on Sunday, 25 people have been arrested and 7 FIRs have been filed against 700 people, including Samajwadi Party MP Zia-ur-Rahman Barq and the son of an MLA from SP for inciting violence. The violence has led to the death of 5 people and injuries to over 2 dozen, including police personnel. Officials said that those responsible for the violence will be charged under the National Security Act. Let me play out the bite of the Commissioner of Moradabad.
देखिए, अभी तो फिलहाल संभल में स्थिति एकदम शांत है. वहाँ पर लगातार निगरानी भी रखी जा रही है. बाजार खुले हुए हैं, कोई ऐसी दिक्कत नहीं है. जो खास तौर पे जो एरिया जहाँ पे बवाल हुआ था वहाँ पे भी कुछ दुकानें बंद हैं. अदरवाइज बाहर स्थिति एकदम सामान्य है. इस मामले में लगातार पड़ताल की जा रही है और पड़ताल करने के बाद जिस तरीके की चीज़ें निकल रही हैं उसके हिसाब से कार्रवाई की जा रही है। उसमें एफआईआर हुई हैं, अभी आगे जिस हिसाब से इंक्वायरी में आएंगे और भी एफआईआर्स होंगे। इसमें जो वहाँ के माननीय सांसद हैं जिया-उर-रहमान बर्क, उनके खिलाफ भी हुई है इंस्टिगेशन के कारण, और वहाँ के जो एक माननीय विधायक हैं उनके पुत्र के खिलाफ भी, क्योंकि उनकी मौजूदगी वहाँ थी। सभी जो कार्रवाइयाँ हो रही हैं वो साक्ष्यों के आधार पर हो रही हैं। उसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे तत्व थे जो पहले से तैयारी करके आए थे, मुँह बात करके, और उन लोगों ने जो भी पथराव किया, पथराव के साथ-साथ उसमें फायरिंग की भी इंसिडेंट की खबर आई, और उसमें आपको पता ही है कि कई सारे लोग घायल हुए, करीब 4 डेथ हो चुकी उसमें, और बाकी लोगों का इलाज चल रहा है।
Now let's take a look at how the violence broke out in Sambhal on Sunday. Violence erupted in Sambhal when a survey team arrived at the Shahi Jama Masjid to conduct a court-ordered inspection. The survey was mandated on November 19 by Civil Judge, Senior Division, Aditya Singh, following a petition by Senior Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain, who claimed that the mosque was constructed in 1526 after demolishing a centuries-old Harihar temple. The petitioner also argued that the site is protected under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and remains Act of 1958, granting public access to such monuments. The initial survey attempt on Tuesday was incomplete, prompting officials to return on Sunday morning to avoid interfering with the afternoon prayers. Tension had been brewing in Sambhal ever since the first survey on Tuesday. However, the unrest escalated on Sunday as a crowd gathered near the mosque, shouting slogans when the survey team arrived. The situation escalated into violence when protesters began pelting stones and torching vehicles, prompting police to use force. The unrest resumed on big scale as the team left the site around 11 a.m. Despite initial efforts to control the crowd, the mob surrounded the survey team and security personnel, attacking from 3 sides with stones. Police officials are also investigating gunshots fired by the miscreants and said that some pellets also injured the police personnel. The question here is, was this pre-planned? How could crowd gather so much of material on the rooftops to attack massive deployment of police? And secondly, can another Sambhal happen, and why did it blow up like this? On this, I am joined by Mr. A.K. Jain, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Professor Badri Narayan Tiwari, Director GB Pant Social Science Institute, University of Allahabad, and Brijesh Pandey, Input Editor of News 9. Thank you all of you for joining me. Let me straight away go to Mr. Jain first. Sir, do you think that this violence was spontaneous? How can so much of material be gathered on the roof that hundreds of policemen cannot find their way to the perimeter of the mosque?
First time when the survey was carried out, there was no violence. Sambhal is a communally very sensitive town. I have been SSP of Muradabad, and at that time Muradabad included Sambhal also. I have been to this town, communally very surcharged, atmosphere remains there, but there has been no incident of violence in the past of such magnitude. Small skirmishes they take place, but generally town remains peaceful. On this issue, the question which you asked, I am of the firm opinion that there was a pre-planned attack on police, and they wanted to stop the survey team to conduct the survey inside the mosque because they couldn't complete it on the first day. It all depends on the court commissioner. Court commissioner had asked for assistance, and DM SP escorted them. And it was necessary also. Had they been not escorted, some very ugly incident might have taken place. The way brickbats were thrown, so much of brickbats I have never seen in my service. In 37 years of service in UP.
I'm not surprised. Something like this happened in Delhi also when the riots took place. The same thing happened. The same modus operandi was there. People were killed. There was so much of material, civic material or civil material that was actually accumulated. I am also joined by Professor Badri Narayan Tiwari. Sir, I want a social perspective from you. Mr. Jain has given the perspective that this looks very premeditated and planned. I want a social perspective. Where do we locate Sambhal, sir, in our political narrative and cultural history?
See, Sambhal incident is saying that if this kind of injecting the communal tensions will increase in Uttar Pradesh or in any part of India, it does not end at one place. It continues. For this consciousness, this effort by this kind of forces, they may try for other places also. So Sambhal kind of, there are a lot of this kind of discussions, debate and conflicts of interest or conflicts of position, that this was the mosque or this was the temple and various parts of India. If this kind of thing will be not stopped by the police strongly, it may continue. So I think UP had been free from this kind of communal tension since around 15 years. I think his administration should try to control it. But the communal rights have its own dynamics. Those who organize it, those who try to evoke it, they had their own plan, and police may have to stop those plans. And the politicians, the opinion makers, social media, they are all involved in this type of processes. So one has to take action to stop this kind of efforts at various places. And since this social media came, it's very difficult to control this kind of evocation. And I think government should do this because society needs, Viksit Bharat needs a peaceful and calm society. If the society will be in this kind of contesting mode, I think Viksit Bharat mission will or developing India or new India kind of mission will be will be not achieve this situation.
Okay, Brijesh, then how do we reconcile the continuous effort? There are two views. One, that there is a cut-off line, Narasimha Rao, Places of Worship Act. And the second is, which comes from civil society, why not acknowledge all the places that were actually broken down and converted into various other religious denominations in medieval India? So my question to you is it about drawing the line, or do you think that, it will be a continuous effort whereby multiple other places will continue to come up where maybe a temple existed which was broken down and a mosque came up?
See, Karthike,
to the point.
I'm answering you to the point. The point is, how far are you willing to go back? That is the question. Why stop at 700 years? Why stop at 800 years? Why not go beyond that? So my point is, and if you start doing that, then then there will be so much layering of history which will be unearthed, that India will be forever fragmented, forever divided, and things like that. There was a reason why this Places of Worship Act was put in place. That that this is the sole exception was Ayodhya temple. But the point is that that these kind of surveys and the alacrity with which the court ordered that within 2 hours it allowed the team to visit there and carry on the survey was also very perplexing. I think, usually it's not done with that. You order, but you also give the time to the other party to approach a higher court, whereby if they want, they can seek. If they get, that they can seek a certain say. But that was not given, and it also depends on side. Nobody is going to justify the violence which is there on the ground. Under no circumstances the violence can be justified. But simultaneously also, there were videos which were circulating that when the survey team came, there was a lot of surcharged religious sloganeering that was also being done on the spot. And today it was one of the biggest talking point as far as the Parliament of India is concerned. So you have to take into account the totality of what is happening. Otherwise, for every masjid, are you going to demolish every single masjid?
Now let me take this question to Mr. Jain. Mr. Jain said that he served in this area. Sir, when you were serving this area as an officer, was this debate part of the local narrative, sir?
No. It was not there. I don't remember it. I was posted there in 1995 as SSP Moradabad, At that time, it was not the narrative, but it has been a sensitive place. Communally surcharged atmosphere has always been there in Sambhal. Police remains very alert, and immediate action is taken on even the smallest possible incident, HM incident. Luckily, this did not turn into HM incident. It has a population ratio of 53% Muslims and 47% Hindus. But police prevented spread to Hindu areas. So it remained largely a conflict between police and minority community, and it was contained. It was contained. It's unfortunate that four young boys have died, and unfortunately, the weapons which have been used, country-made pistols, and injuries they have sustained from country-made pistols. It's very perplexing that how these people uncontrolled firing when it takes place, even from police side, there can be casualties on your side also. So uncontrolled firing from rooftops, from streets, from other places, it can lead to casualties, and the inquiry will have to be there. SIT will, I think, set up. SIT will be set up, and then they will find out what has been the reason. But I think police has done fairly good job by containing it, and so that it doesn't convert into a communal riot. It has been contained, but it has been a very sad incident, in my opinion, which has taken place at Sambhal, and it will take a lot of time in settling things down at Sambhal.
Professor, Brijesh made a point. Where do you draw the line, and how do you resolve it at the level of the society? Yes, there is a law; it can be repealed in Parliament, the one which Narasimha Rao made. So legally, people can go try to find out whether there was a temple beneath the mosque or not. But once you do that, is it possible for that mosque to function? I mean to say, if you do that in 5,000 places, do you expect those 5,000 places to remain mosque? I don't think it will be possible.
I think there are issues in it, in this process, and but society has, or history has created certain conflictual issues, and we have to resolve it. Society has to resolve it by itself. No, police, administration, law will come and help you to make the things better. So I think both the parties, both the groups, their opinion makers, their intellectual leaders, their community leaders, will sit together and try to resolve this kind of conflictual spaces on the religious sides, which are many in India, So society has a very important role in it, and law and other system, police and all, they will come as supportive agency. So if
point blank to you, Professor, let me ask this point blank to you. If people continue to go to courts, and if lower courts continue to attend to these controversy, हर उत्तर भारत के शहर में, हर जिले में एक ऐसा केस मिल जाएगा आपको. तो क्या are we willing to entertain? I am not saying that the temples were not demolished. They were demolished by invaders, Muslim invaders. But क्या आधुनिक भारत में, आई एम नॉट यूजिंग द वर्ड मॉडर्न इंडिया, आधुनिक भारत में क्या हम वो 365 केस खोलना चाहते हैं एक ही साथ, हर जिले में संभल बनाना चाहते हैं?
मुझे लगता है कि समाज के हित में ये ठीक नहीं होगा कि वी शुड ओपन ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ केसेस. बट बिफोर दैट, बिफोर गोइंग टू कोर्ट, फर्स्ट लेवल इज डिस्कसिंग एट कम्युनिटी लेवल, एट सोसाइटी लेवल, एंड इफ थिंग्स डोंट रिजॉल्व देयर, then maybe things to go other level.
But then there is also intransigence on the part of the minority community. उसको भी कहने में मुझे कोई शर्म नहीं है. Even in Ayodhya, the minority community did not give in. They said we will go to the. Let me just think.
Yes.
They did not give in. Or they did not give in. So it became the matter went to the court. There were committees.
देखिए ये जो what you are saying हो कि हमें अपने दिल को बड़ा करना होगा, हिस्ट्री के रॉन्ग्स को हमें ही रिजॉल्व करना होगा, और अगर हम बड़ा नहीं, if you will not extend our heart and make ourselves very fixed identity and aggressive identity based agency, human agency, community agency, then it will be problem, and this problem is very difficult to resolve. And India don't want this kind of situation, because India is on a path of development and growth, and it wants a peaceful and coexistent society. So I think we have to. There are problems, but we have to resolve problems by ourselves.
Since
and media has very important.
Media has an important role. Political players also have a very important role. Vishnu Shankar is a known commodity. He is not an unknown person. He is an activist lawyer. So everyone has a responsibility. We had played out the bite of Akhilesh Yadav. We had played out the bite of Asaduddin Owaisi. Let me play out the bite of Bharatiya Janata Party.
संभल की घटना हमारे लोकतंत्र पर एक धब्बा है। इस धब्बा के लिए अगर कोई जिम्मेदार है तो विपक्ष है, और जिया-उर-रहमान और वहां के विधायकों के ऊपर 302 का मुकदमा चलना चाहिए, जिसने ये आतंक फैलाया, और आतंक ही नहीं फैलाया बल्कि दंगा कराने का काम किया, और दंगा ही नहीं कराया बल्कि सरकारी चीजों पर, संविधान पर उनको भरोसा नहीं है, इसीलिए उन्होंने अधिकारियों को रोका। जो लोग कहते हैं कि इसकी जरूरत क्या थी, मैं कहता हूं आज भारत के अस्मिता के ऊपर ये लोग प्रश्न चिन्ह लगा रहे हैं। ये ऐसा व्यवहार कर रहे हैं जैसे 1947 में बंटवारे के बाद पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश में हुआ। ये मुसलमानों के द्वारा तुष्टीकरण के तहत भारत की अस्मिता, भारत की पहचान हमारी खतरे में है, और हम अगर ये कांग्रेस कर दिया होता तो आज मुझे जरूरत नहीं थी कि मस्जिद में भी सर्वे करने की आवश्यकता पड़ती।
Let me play out the bite of the district magistrate of Sambhal.
आज हमने सुबह पीसी कर ली थी, इसलिए शाम को पीसी की आवश्यकता नहीं थी, किंतु अभी जो जामा मस्जिद के सदर जफर अली साहब का एक भ्रामक बयान आया, उसके कारण हमें दोबारा पीसी की आवश्यकता पड़ी। उन्होंने पूरा डिटेलिंग उनके बयान की हो रही है, लेकिन मुख्य बिंदु जिसमें उन्होंने सबको कंफ्यूज किया, और अभी भी उन्होंने हमें कहा कि जब लोगों ने मुझे कहा कि आप प्रशासन और पुलिस से मिले हुए हैं, इसलिए मुझे ये बयान देना पड़ा। पहली बात उन्होंने कहा कि जफर जी ने बोला कि हमें सर्वे की सूचना नहीं दी। मैं आपको कुछ चीजें दिखाना चाहता हूं। पहली सूचना मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूं, ऑनरेबल कोर्ट का ये ऑर्डर है। जैसे ही ये कोर्ट का ऑर्डर आया, इस कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के बाद 2:30 हाँ, जो कोर्ट का ऑर्डर आया वो 2:38 पे आया, और इसके लगभग आधे घंटे के बाद वो लोग हमारे पास आए, और फिर 5 बजे से पहले हम कोतवाली आए, और 5 से 5:30 के बीच हम जामा मस्जिद पहुंचे। ये कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है, और उन्होंने बोला कि हमें सूचना नहीं दी, जबकि इस कोर्ट के ऑर्डर में बहुत स्पष्ट लिख रखा है कि मैं रमेश सिंह राघव अधिवक्ता को माननीय सिविल जज सीनियर डिवीजन संभल, जिनकी ओर से ये ऑर्डर हुआ था, उन्होंने कहा कि जो सर्वे की कार्रवाई है उसे फोटोग्राफी और वीडियोग्राफी कराकर 29 नवंबर 2024 तक प्रस्तुत करने के लिए नियुक्त करता हूं। और अंत में उन्होंने लिखा कि मैं सभी पक्षकारों को सूचित करता हूं कि सर्वे की शेष कार्रवाई करने हेतु 24 नवंबर 2024 को प्रातःकाल 7 बजे से 11 बजे तक का समय निर्धारित किया जाता है। ये इसलिए उन्होंने बोला क्योंकि 19 तारीख को उन्होंने हमें रात्रि में एक पत्र दिया। वो पत्र ये है जिसमें स्पष्ट लिखा हुआ है कि वहां एक साथ 200 लोग मस्जिद के भीतर उपस्थित हो गए। सायंकाल का समय था एवं इतने ही व्यक्ति की उपस्थिति में सर्वे का कार्य सुचारू रूप से संपन्न नहीं हो सका। वहां उपस्थित जनप्रतिनिधि एवं अन्य व्यक्तियों द्वारा बार बार सर्वे की प्रक्रिया में अवरोध उत्पन्न किया जा रहा था एवं धमकी दी जा रही थी। अतः भविष्य में पुनः सर्वे की कार्रवाई संपन्न की जाएगी, जिसकी सूचना पृथक से सभी पक्षकारों को उपलब्ध कराई जाएगी, जिससे माननीय न्यायालय का आदेश का अनुपालन हो सके। ये मेरी प्रति थी और एक कप्तान साहब को इन्होंने प्रति दी थी।
So Mr. Jain, it's a clear case of intimidation. Clearly, it's a clear case of intimidation which the DM is saying.
Actually, these battles should be fought in the court. They shouldn't be fought on the streets. So there is no point in fighting on a street. There is no point in throwing brickbats or firing on police, because police is there to protect you. Police is there. DM and SP are there to protect the lives and properties of the citizens of the district. They are not supposed to attack. But if such attack takes place, if vehicles which are having this thing of police painted on them, if they are deliberately torched, and stone pelting is taking place from so many rooftops, identified rooftops, and from streets, so naturally there has to be a conspiracy behind it, and seven cases have been registered. They will be investigated in detail, and the culprits they should be arrested and put behind bars.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jain, for joining me. Brijesh, last question to you. If you recall, Mohan Bhagwat has said कि हर मस्जिद के नीचे शिवालय ढूंढने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए. And there was a strong backlash that happened. You know, Mohan Bhagwat got trolled actually on Twitter. What does it tell us about the new political ecosystem of Hindutva?
Well, as I was saying, you know,
is it controlled by RSS, BJP, or it's gone beyond that?
It's gone beyond that. It's gone beyond that, and Professor Badri was saying that they should be show large-heartedness or something like that. I think where do you stop with large-heartedness? Are you willing to demolish every single masjid and get something else, or you willing to get everything done? At that point of time, I remember, we were doing surveys and all, and many said that, oh, Ram temple is the only one. And then I pointed them to Vishnu Shankar Jain, who was also one of the guests. I said, like, sir, you are not listening to Mr. Jain, who has filed more than 100 plus such cases in various district courts. Where are you going to end? Where are you going to, I mean, there has to be an end to everything. If you follow legally, why do you expect any community to show any kind of large-heartedness? Okay. You fought it legally. In Allahabad High Court, if you remember, which was overturned by Supreme Court, the Allahabad High Court divided the Ram temple into 3 areas and distributed it, gave one to the Hindu side, one to Muslim side, and one for building hospital and things like that. They fought their legal cases there.
In Sambhal, there are 2 stories. The first story is the criminality. Criminality is that...
There I agree with Mr. Jain, that you cannot take law in your hands. That is absolutely...
So there is criminality in which police was attacked. There is criminality that law and order was torn apart. There is criminality the way police forces were attacked. There is criminality, there is conspiracy. But the second part of the story is that somewhere a line needs to be drawn. If every district turns out to be Sambhal just because some conversion has taken place, my question is, are we willing to afford it? One, and secondly, what happened to the statement when Mohan Bhagwat said that it's not really necessary that you go back, which is हर मस्जिद के नीचे एक शिवालय ढूंढने की कोशिश नहीं है. There has to be a right balance. So it's time for a break. We'll be right back. Don't go away, because after the break we will discuss the second on point, and that is Devendra Fadnavis, the new Mumbai cha, Maharashtra cha Raja.